What's going on, guys? This is John Zakari, and today I want to talk about Shadow Puppeteer, which just made its way over to the Wii U this week. The game stars a boy with no mouth who's just trying to play with some toys when this creepazoid shows up with a magic music box to take everyone's shadows. While the boy's shadow isn't taken, it is detached from him, becoming its own entity. You've got kind of a Peter Pan thing going on, but the two are still tethered together, get too far apart, and they die. And they both set off to stop this creepy music man. The game is a puzzle platformer that utilizes 2D as well as 3D space. The boy moves around freely in 3D while the shadow is confined to 2D, only able to move wherever shadows are cast. The control is where this game gets really interesting, as you command the actions of both characters in single player. The boy moves with the left stick bumper and trigger, while the shadow is controlled with the right stick bumper and trigger. This gives the game a unique challenge, as you're dealing with sort of a rub your belly and pat your head type scenario, where your brain has to focus on separate tasks at the same time. Both of the characters can manipulate objects in their realm to move them in the other. Obviously, moving real objects will make their shadows move, but your shadow can also move other shadows to make the actual object move. Now, oftentimes you're not in a rush, so as you may assume, you can just focus on one character's obstacles at a time to keep your brain from breaking. But this isn't always the case. There are many run for your life type instances throughout the game that force you to work fast with both characters. This is where Shadow Puppeteer really shines, as you can almost feel your brain tearing in two as you try to put equal focus in both characters, as some impending doom sends you into a state of panic. For me in particular, the raw platforming instances of this got me multiple times, as my brain just wanted to move both characters in the same direction as well as jump at the same time, which typically sent one of them to their death. And as the game progresses, you obtain different tools like bombs and scissors that can be used in the Shadow realm to proceed through many of the obstacles. And this only adds to the chaos during these stressful moments in the late game as you scramble for the right tool. It's these types of moments that will challenge even veteran platformer players. Now, if this all sounds kind of daunting, the game also has a co-op mode, allowing two players to each take control of one of the game's characters. This dramatically brings down the difficulty, but the game is still fun. While two heads are often better than one, co-op still requires both players to get on the same page to solve puzzles. And since you're constantly putting your lives in each other's hands, this mode is also great for trolling. After you complete a section of the game, you'll be treated to a little cutscene that guides along the story as a reward. And they range from funny and cute to frickin' dark. And dark is also a great word to describe the overall atmosphere of the game, as the world design and eerie music all promote a sense of foreboding. Everything in terms of aesthetics seems pretty simple, but tight, allowing the unique gameplay to stand out. So I really enjoyed this game. I don't have many negatives to say about it. In my opinion, 3D platforming is always kind of rough in a game with a fixed camera like this, as I sometimes find my perception a bit off and miss jumps as a result, but this game really couldn't be done any other way. Also, the game is kinda on the short side, with my playthrough clocking in at around 3 hours. I think the major variable on playtime will be the final boss fight, as he is a son of a bitch, but very satisfying to beat. There's also a collectathon in the game for completionists, consisting of 2 types of orbs that can be picked up by either the boy or the shadow. These can be tough to get, especially during those intense segments, so going for them will add a good amount of playtime to your experience. Now, while I did enjoy Shadow Puppeteer, it's always tough to recommend platformers on the Wii U, as there are just so many at this point, and a lot of them are amazing. But this mind-splitting gameplay is something you don't really get in many other games, and the constant curveballs and the challenges keep the title fresh and make it worth experiencing. If you're not sitting on a backlog of platformers on your Wii U, then definitely consider picking this up. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Big thanks to the people over at Snow Cannon Games for hooking me up with a code to make this review possible. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on Shadow Puppeteer in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel now and you can say you were a subscriber before it was cool. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.